Zedong was China's ruthless communist leader. He transformed China from an agrarian society into a highly industrialized one. However, his rule led to famines that killed millions of people. The Great Leap Forward was when, in 1958, Mao Zedong wanted to change China from a farming society into a more modern communist society. In doing so, he banned private farms and forced people onto collective ones. He also stressed labor-intensive and extremely rapid industrialization, all in a very short time frame. The result was that agricultural and industrial production improved, but at a staggering cost. There was severe famine, deaths of about 20 million, a devastated economy, and most importantly, for our purposes today, Mao Zedong found himself very unpopular inside his own Communist Party. So as a result, in 1966, Mao wants to regain his power within the party, and he launches the Cultural Revolution. Well, it was started by Mao in 1966. It is widely believed that he started the Cultural Revolution as a way to maintain his power. It was basically a political campaign to rid China of its liberal bourgeois. Basically, Mao wanted the people of China to give up their traditional ways of living and thinking and replace it with a communist way of life. It was the idea of being a classless society. A big part of the Cultural Revolution was the destruction of the so-called Four Olds. That would be the destruction of old customs, old culture, old ideas, and old habits. In their attempt to destroy these old ideas, a wealth of learning, art, and ancient culture in China was destroyed. Mao knew that the best way to gain support for the Cultural Revolution was to win over the country's youth, so he created the Red Guard. The Red Guard were student groups that sprung up all over the country. Their role was to deal with people who were against Mao's ideas. Many of these young people were children your age, and they often terrorized people such as artists, educators, intellectuals, and Mao's personality cult grew stronger than ever. A personality cult is when people worship an individual, usually a political leader. Mao got back the prestige and power he wanted, and his rule would remain unchallenged until his death in 1976. So how did everything end? Well, the Cultural Revolution was really all about a power struggle for Mao. The generation of the Red Guard are referred to as the Lost Generation because they missed out on their education. Note, not one Chinese scientist graduated during the Cultural Revolution. Mao died in 76, and his supporters, known as the Gang of Four, were thrown in jail. Today in China, politically at least, the communists are still in charge and rule with an iron hand. As probably many of you have noticed, China is now a major economic world power. So, why are we reading Red Scarf Girl? We're reading it to gain a better understanding of what life was like in China during the Cultural Revolution.